Alright everyone, blue team against red team. We got a Patreon game coming up. Was sent in by one of the Patreon supporters, and we have a pretty crazy ARAM apparently. So let's see what we're gonna get today. We got on the left side the blue team with Taros on Reyna, Yale Homie on Diva, Slam on Arthur, Slippy on Medivh, and Undead on Lucio. Yeah, with Medivh you can actually portal Arthurs into the opponent's team, so that could be some nice fun here. As Focus is playing Khaldor for the red team, we got Sakura on Kira, Papadanks on Joanna, Lytal on Zarya, and Vagorok on Morales. So, let's see what the teams are going to pull off here. Big shout out, by the way, in that context to all of the supporters over on patreon.com/Khaldor. Very much appreciated. If you want to support the stream, Heroes Esports in general, and help to keep tournaments here alive and create new ones time and time again, as we've done over the past 7 years since Blizzard abandoned HGC, then you can check out the link in the description. You can go over to patreon.com/Khaldor, become a supporter there. It's very much appreciated, and thanks a lot to all of the people that have been supporting the stream in the esports scene here over the last few years already. So yeah, homie over on Diva, and might didn't even lose the mech to the living bomb here. We have a couple of stacking quests here too. Medivh is already at 10 stacks on the baseline, has decided that he goes into Raven's Intellect, so has more mana and health regeneration. Not really a bad talent when you're talking about ARAMs. Once that you have structures destroyed, I mean, there's very limited options on how you can actually regenerate both of these. So if you go into that talent here, that gives you in the long run some really nice tools to work with, especially if it ends up being a longer game. But there's a lot of aggression already coming from the red team. I mean, they're really at it currently, with stacks that are attempting to lock in here. Obviously, both of the teams with, so to say, a double support. You have a main healer and then a shield regenerator in the form of Zarya against Medivh. And for Slippy, it's going to be important to see if he can get all of his stacks together in time, or if he's actually going to get farmed. Beautiful route by Arthurs. I mean, damn son. He went in hard on this. Got 4 with 1 hit. Medivh now on 20 stacks already. He should have absolutely no problem completing the quest in record time. And as the game continues, I would expect him to empower especially Arthurs with a couple of portal plays. The Diva explosion, they're trying to use it also as cover for a portal. I like that idea. And Diva is immediately trying to move them back into the fight to create a kill opportunity. But so far at least we haven't seen a single kill in the game yet. 2 minutes in and no kill. Is this really an ARAM? We got 30 stacks for Medivh. He's really getting there. Diva by now with Rushdown on level 4 after starting things off with the pro moves. And might be the first one to fall. Medivh! And he dies! No! Dude! What did you do? Why? You nearly had it. You were way above 30 stacks and then the suicide move. Oh my god, no, not like this. The one kill, the only kill in the game. Oh my god, unbelievable. Dust of Appearance on level 4 for him. So yeah, definitely a couple of alternative builds already coming together here. But I think the rest of the red team, of the blue team, has now started to pick up for him. Lucio is dead too. And Khaldor in particular is giving them huge trouble. They're all stacking in the middle in this ARAM, obviously, so Khaldor can get a lot out of this. He went into Energy Royal on level 4 and is still playing around his Mana Addict. So getting the additional shield is going to help him a lot. Arthur's had the right idea there with his Howling Blast. He just needed to get it out a bit sooner so that Yale Homie can get value out of the Diva explosion. If they can lock some targets down into that, they might even net themselves a kill here. Medivh is now back to stacking, of course, but there's lots and lots of pressure against the blue team. I mean, they are having some trouble here. 3 kills to 0 by now and a 1 level advantage for their opponents. So the red team just keeps pushing here time and time again, with a full focus now on Sins Exposed and also Subdue, which is of course a quest that you normally in an ARAM can much easier complete than in any traditional game. 15 stacks for Medivh again, but Khaldor, for example, went straight into the Sun King's Fury. So this is a smart choice for him. You need to make some adjustments to the map in the game that you're playing, and since this is an ARAM, this is a perfectly valid choice for him that he's now trying to use to get himself even more damage out. So they're starting things up with the next pressure play against Arthur, and Slam is a bit low. Portal comes out. Diva also in trouble for just a second. And a massive, massive spread of living bombs time and time again here, as Medivh is now back to 25 stacks. But look over to Kalthas and to Zarya. Zarya is at 18,000 damage, and she's the top damage dealer in the game, with Kalthas sitting at essentially 18k as well. Camps are still being targeted. The team's obviously all having a few heroes that are playing around globes too. We have D.Va at this point with most of the damage dealt on the blue team side with 16k. So really trying to prep these things too. And if there is just a little bit of coordinated play, I think those D.Va explosions that we saw earlier could have mad value. There's another one. Where's that Howling Blast when you need it? Already they're trying to hide a bit. Nice damage against at least Zarya. But of course she also has now full energy. Will still get taken out. Zarya is gone. Arthas has his quest completed. With nice specs into his aura, he could also really assist D.Va with some of those explosion values. And talking D.Va, they're dashing in again to get another kill. Kira is gone, and that's finally 2 kills also on the board for the blue team. Medivh with 35 stacks, so he needs to be a bit safer this time. 38, nearly done with the quest, and then he can YOLO out those shields a little bit more freely, I suppose. But the blue team is now starting to slowly bring this back, as both of them are hitting level 10 abilities. Falling Sword, we get the Pyroblast. Oh yeah, we've got Unrelenting Strikes, and then over on the left side, Micro Missiles. Syndragosa is in the house. So nice tools to go through the fort, through the keep, try and remove some fountains from the map and make this real difficult for the opponent. Polybomb in as well, not playing around the ley line. That would have been a nice setup as well. Ley line into D.Va Explosion. There's the Pyro, and that one did nothing. But Hyperion, and look at all the damage that is now coming from D.Va. And Arthas is running them down nicely, or at least did. Zarya is now gone. They're trying for Johanna. They drop her. The Howling Blast locks down Morales, and they get another kill, with now the quick play being made for Kira. And that's another hero eliminated. So Portal behind the gate, trying to take down Kalthas, the lone survivor so far. But a nice attack from the blue team as they're now pressuring through the structure in the middle. And here comes Syndragosa. Even with mana added, Kalthas might fall. They get the portal out again and escape easily. Job well done. The wall destroyed. Kalthas dead. They create some space with the D.Va Explosion. Even damage against Johanna in the same play. Polybomb gets used. They keep, the fort is getting attacked, and they're losing now Johanna, and might even lose Morales, who is running straight onto that portal, but nobody is willing to risk it and jump through it. So 2-level advantage all of a sudden for the blue team here. D.Va now following this up with a pew pew pew, and there's been a lot of pew pew pewing already. 35,000 damage for D.Va. Nearly top damage in the game. Kalthas is the one that has still a slight advantage on that end. But with the fort destroyed, that's one fountain obviously gone. One fountain destroyed, and they can now go for the next potential kill. They're trying for Kalthas here. We have also the ult from Kira. She's looking for a kill against Arthas. They can't get it though. Arthas slowly moving out of the fight as the portal is allowing the rest of the team to retreat. D.Va trying to create some space for them to survive, but might actually die as a result. The pilot in trouble. The shield is there. The heal's unbelievable. They get D.Va out. And now the Pyro onto Medivh, and he survives. The mech is back in play, and they're trying for the next kill. The red team might have overextended a little bit in that chase. They couldn't get a kill themselves, but now they're losing Zarya, and D.Va is just boosting back in, trying to chase down Jojo, but also has to be careful. Medivh still with the assists. They're going for Kalthas, and they're likely going to drop him too. They're absolutely cornering him now at the bottom of the map, and will take him apart. Kalthas is dead. Lucio is zipping around as they are chasing Jojo. Then again, seems like at least Jimmy goes down, so that's now 10 kills to 7. Falling Sword from Johanna as she comes back with a vengeance, but D.Va to the rescue. Arthur's in trouble, and D.Va is just having none of it and is instantly pushing everybody back from the frontliner. 46,000 damage to 48,000 now for the top 2 damage dealers on the respective teams, as we're slowly getting closer towards level 16. I don't really like the Frost Strikes here, to be absolutely honest with you. I would have loved for him to spec a bit more heavily also into auras just in general, so that later on he can really lock them into D.Va Explosions, into Hyperions, and maybe make it also harder for them to escape those polybombs. So I don't think that specking into trade is necessarily the best choice for Arthas, even given that this is an ARAM. We have on 13 on the other side now Roar. We also get Pyromaniac. So Kelthas is really playing heavily around those living bongs, as he should. He got mad value out of it so far. 10 kills to 7. There's the level 16 talents, and at least we get the Remorseless Winter. Arthas with the flanks and Dragosa. They're coming in heavily, and especially Morales gets currently pressured. D.Va already on her the entire time. Yale homie, absolutely no mercy as they're going for Morales and just cutting the rest of the team off their support. But the damage dealers on the blue team side are having a problem because they're slowly starting to get killed here. Finally some counter kills after Jimmy and Medivh have both fallen. At least Jojo goes down, but the pilot is now in trouble, and without the shield of Medivh, this could just be the end. The Pyro is going to finish it off. Yep, that's the end of it. Morales is back to business, but it's actually Zarya that kills D.Va, so it's even a kill steal. No value out of the Pyroblast after all. We got Ignite now on level 16 for Kelthas, and he's just absolutely running the show here. Still followed by D.Va, who will be back in a few moments too, but the blue team is now having a bit of a harder time here in the middle of the map to defend their own fort. Earlier, of course, they were able to take one fort out, but they still need to apply that pressure. And the last couple of team fights have been starting to look a bit better for the red team. They've been doing okay here. They're trying again, pushing through the middle. And with all that sustain that comes from Zarya and that added damage, I mean, she alone is sitting at 50,000 as well. They are starting to really apply the pressure here. So D.Va is just doing the same thing. Gets mad ping spammed, by the way, too, as she boosts into the team and applies pressure to Morales. They have the kill against Kira up at the top left as she was going toe-to-toe with Arthas. The living bombs just spreading the entire time. They gotta be careful with this. We got the portal out, and Medivh gets instantly targeted and killed. So does Jimmy. They get a kill against Arthas, and all of a sudden they're all in trouble. There's only 2 heroes alive for the blue team. Yeah, these portals are just a little bit too telegraphed currently, and they're rushing through them immediately after spawning them, and the red team is just targeting that area time and time again with everything that they have. So 2 of them dropping through the portals are dying within a second. Now we got 12 kills to 13, but it's getting wild in this game. And this is starting to become a pretty wild ARAM that we have in front of us. We got 22 stacks for Johanna on the Laws of Hope here, 29 for Mana Addict for Kelthas. And they are closing on level 20 talent, so they will have their Storm talent soon. The one thing to point out in the context is, of course, still that we have the fort on the red team side destroyed, whereas the blue team is still holding on to theirs. But they're now also nearly a level behind, so they have to bridge that gap. They don't want to fight against level 20 if they can avoid it. They won't be able to avoid it completely. And in this case, Hyperion gets dropped immediately by Jimmy, and they get a kill. Zarya is gone, and they get number 2. Johanna also murdered. And now the chase as they're going for Morales. And this looks very much like a kill. Morales, is she able to walk away? Arthas was trying to slow her down with the Remorseless Winter after the Howling Blast. But it seems she's able to get out of this. Same time now, Arthas gets killed. No shield from Medivh. I like to believe that Medivh actually had the cooldown and just doesn't like Arthas. And intentionally didn't save him here. But he will obviously deny that or every step of the way. We got Death's Advance now on level 20 for Arthur, so really speccing heavily into Aura now and trying to get the additional movement speed in here to really run them down. The Glyph of the Polybomb is ready. We got the Summer Anthem and the upgrade for the missiles on the side of D.Va, as we have the timing attack right now. Anything with cooldown reduction is obviously always a win. Falling Sword cooldown reduction is also in play, and that could be a problem. In ARAMs in particular, this is an amazing level 20 to have. You can just simply hop around in those team fights over and over again with a presence of mind right now for Kelthas. So it's for sure getting a bit wild here with Sergeant Pepper for Jimmy. The damage output, we still have Kelthas in the top slot with D.Va coming in a hot second on 77,000. The fight over the camp. Here's Kira and big damage from Jojo. That's the problem right there. Mad cooldown reduction and of course all that damage. A huge play from Johanna with dire consequences for the blue team. And this is where the game might flip right now. I mean, this could potentially break them. They are now starting to lose ground as the fort in the middle gets destroyed. And I'm really a bit worried about those Johanna ults. If she can get good ults out when they are absolutely clustered up, she will be able to get through 2 or 3 ults out in the team fight and get a huge amount of damage in the same main as well. So now we have again a nice little dodge from Medivh jumping into Raven form as Kalthus was trying to threaten him with Pyroblast. It's a 5 versus 5 back up on the map with 31 kills total. But the blue team, they have lost some ground. They have lost some structures. They're trying to bring this back now. The red team with a relentless pursuit here. Again, the ult from Jimmy. Here comes the ult also from Johanna. But this time she gets a little bit less of their cooldown reduction. They are again targeting D.Va, who's all the way up at the front as Syndragosa rallies through them. Zarya is dead, and now the chase is on. Medivh dashes back away from the rest of the team to not spread those living bombs. Look at Arthas racing it down and really taking advantage of his level 16 talent. They're locking down Johanna and they get the kill here. Arthas can be the utility tool that they need, and they're trying to use it instantly against Morales and against Kira, and both of them are in trouble. Lucius coming in, booping them back. Big damage. D.Va rushing through and they get the double kill. Kira and Morales are both gone, and now the chance to break through the wall at the keep. This is a big opportunity. Only Kalthus still surviving here. 6-digit damage already for Kalthus, and D.Va might be a close second as they're breaking the wall. Ults, not too many available here, but they might also... are they jumping on Kalthus? Not really able to make that happen. So it's just damage against the keep for now. Slowly starting to work this in with the minions and the catapults that are currently coming through here. But the level 20 on Arthas gave them so much more chase potential in these fights, and it really shows. D.Va's trying to create a bit of space for the rest of the team to dish out the keep damage, and so far it's been working. D.Va just keeping them busy, and the keep is going down. So huge value now for the blue team. Explosion will cover the retreat if they need to head back, but they're applying more pressure to the core. One attack after another, as we now have 99% on the red team's core. And the blue team is still trying to take them slowly down here. D.Va creating some space as the rest can focus on Kira at the top. She gets locked down. Here comes Jojo again with a cooldown reduction, coming in with big damage and a lot of cooldown reduction on top of this, which would allow her to jump a second time. Arthas is dead. Pyroblast against Jimmy. And Johanna will have her ult back up in 4 seconds as she's trying to get close with the help of the mount. A couple of slows here, and Jojo any moment now on the move. But the portal comes out. Portal comes out. They can still try for a play here, but of course there's only 4 defenders as the entire game momentum has now swung in favor of the red team. No backdoor attempts, by the way, either. Can never count them out when you're playing an ARAM. But the attack towards the middle is now just brimming up as the range damage is being delivered time and time again from Zarya and Kalthus in particular. They're trying to poke that keep down as quickly as they can. The 4 defenders now joined by Arthas again as he's back to business in the game. They can try and set Syndragosa up here and slowly walk them down. And here comes the ult from Arthas. Syndragosa is in. Polybomb gets spread immediately. Kira in trouble already as Zarya pops her ult. In comes Johanna, but a nice shield from Medivh, and now the chase is on once again. It's that yo-yo effect in ARAMs. Time and time from the left to the right to the left. And it's again the blue team that is trying to gain the momentum here with 2 kills already. They're chasing them down slowly, steadily. Kalthus trying to get the counter kills. The only one again that can rush away here. Kalthus so far with only 2 deaths and 133,000 damage. But this time he's not going to be able to escape. This time he actually dies. That's the kill right there. And it might be the end of the game. We had 18 minutes in and the core is wide open. Kira back in 5 seconds. The explosion of D.Va. She's sitting at 115,000 damage. Mad numbers for the blue team as they're now going for the core. The defenders might still have a chance, but Sakura gave up already. Seems like this is going to be it. The last defenders are coming through, but it's too little too late. Hyperion gets popped, and that's a victory. The blue team taking the W in this ARAM here. Nicely done, well played, and GG.